Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Well, it's that time of year again. Pumpkin spice time, right? Fall and things are getting cooler out and we all love to have the coffees with all the different flavors. Well, why not a cake? So we're gonna make a pumpkin spice latte cake. And it's a sheet cake, so it's in one layer. It's easy. It will take you literally 5 minutes to put together and very little time to frost it. It is so simple and it feeds a good amount of people. So super simple to bring to all your fall get-togethers or maybe even a Halloween party. But before we get started, I want you to click that notification button because I want you to become a subscriber. I don't want you to miss any of my tips or videos because they're pretty good. And I love having you in my kitchen. It feels like I'm having a friend with me. So this cake is super simple. So preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And I have a 13 by 9 inch rectangular pan, didn't mean to bang. Spray it with nonstick cooking spray. And then I have a piece of parchment paper that I put down so that the long sides of the pan, the parchment comes over about an inch or so, maybe half an inch, an inch. And then I put clips on them if they don't stay. Sometimes the parchment will stay up and sometimes it won't. It'll just help everything come out easier. So I clipped it. You do not have to frost or spray again on top. Forget about it. Super easy. All right, now, this is a tale of 2 bowls. This is a very simple cake. Dry ingredients, wet ingredients, they meet in the middle. You mix them and you get them in the oven. Super easy, right? Okay. So let's start with our dry ingredients. I have 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. And then I get my spices in here. Now to be super simple, I like to just use pumpkin pie spice. So that combines the clove and the ginger and the cinnamon and the nutmeg. And you don't have to worry about mixing all little bits of everything. So right now I have 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. All goes in there. And I'm just going to whisk it up. So that's our dry ingredients. Okay, was that hard? No. You don't need basically any tool. Even if you had your hands to do it, you would have no reason to not be able to make this cake. All right, so that's our dry ingredients. I'm putting them over here. Wet ingredients. Pumpkin, I have 1 cup of canned pumpkin. Don't get the pumpkin pie mix, you know, that comes in a can. This is just canned pumpkin. So 1 cup of canned pumpkin. I have half a cup of vegetable oil. I think I used like canola oil, but you can use whatever you want. You could use coconut oil, whatever floats your boat, whatever you like, okay? I have 2 large eggs, a whole egg. All right. And then I have 3/4 of a cup of dark brown sugar packed. And why am I putting it in here instead of the dry ingredients? Because dark brown sugar sometimes clumps and I don't want it to clump in my dry ingredients. And then I have 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, white sugar, okay? And then last but not least, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Don't use anything less than pure, all right? You will taste a difference. It will taste like cough syrup. Don't do it. Trust me on this, and then you're going to whisk this up. You really want this whisked up pretty well because you really want to get that baking, that sugar, that brown sugar really, really in there, okay? And then we're just going to pour this wet ingredient mixture into our dry ingredients. And we're going to fold it in with a rubber spatula. And there you go. Voila. So I'm going to get this in here. And at this point, you don't want to overmix because overmixing creates gluten. And when it comes to cakes, we don't want a tough cake. So overmixing, no more gluten formation than what we need to hold that cake together. So I'm just going to go around the edges with my rubber spatula. And it's going to be a nice, sort of a nutty brown color and very pumpkin-y. Now, if you like walnuts or pecans or anything that you like, sometimes nuts are polarizing or people are allergic, you can put them in at this point. If you don't want them, obviously don't do it. I'm not going to do it. Or raisins. Oh, raisins are even more polarizing. Oh my goodness. You mentioned raisins in my house. Oh, it could come to arms. I mean, really, very, very bad. I love raisins though. I'm a raisin lover. So I want to get all my dry ingredients in there. All right, I want to see them. All right, we're all set. Now I get my pan and my big bowl, and I am going to put that all into my pan. And this bakes up very fast. It's like, I would almost call it like a snacking cake or a breakfast cake, or you could have this for breakfast. We're going to make a really nice simple coffee buttercream to mimic the pumpkin spice latte coffees that you find in all the gourmet coffee stores. But you know what? You do whatever you want. Now, you see how it is here? It's sort of not spread out. Let me go get my little offset spatula, which I love. This I love. This is a better tool than anything. And you're just going to spread it. You're just going to spread it, all right, to each corner and rotate your pan, spread it again. You really want to make sure everything is spread out. Even, Steven, okay? And this is going to bake between 25 and 30 minutes. You want a small, sharp knife to come out clean. And then we're going to let it cool and put a simple coffee buttercream, very, very simple. And then we're going to drizzle it with some caramel sauce, Chef Gail's special simple caramel sauce, which you have seen me do in other videos. So I will give you a link for that. So very simple, very, very flat across the pan. All right, you see that? In the oven, 25 to 30 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you preheat your oven. See you in a bit. Pumpkin spice latte cake came out of the oven in 25 minutes. It's not high. Like I said, it's more like a snacking cake. It's sort of low but delicious. And it came out, it's super tender. I flipped it out onto a big platter. You also can leave it in the pan and just cut it out of the pan as you want. Just make a square, eat it over the sink, whatever you need to do. Now we're going to make our really simple buttercream. It's a simple coffee buttercream, the latte part. So I'm going to take 2 sticks of butter, which is 1 cup of butter, softened, nice and soft. You want it nice and soft. All right. And I'm going to use my whip attachment because I really want it nice and whippy and fluffy, fluffy. And I'm just going to put that on like medium speed and just get a little bit of air in there, not too much, but just enough to get it light and fluffy. And then I'm going to start adding some things for flavor. So we have 3 tablespoons of instant espresso powder. You can even use instant coffee, whatever you want to use. You can use less, whatever, but this is going to give you, you have this in the morning, you're good to go all day. You're going to have energy, baby. All right. 1.5 tablespoons of heavy cream. That is what our liquid is going to be to thin out our icing. And a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. So I'm going to put my 1.5 tablespoons of cream in here, and I'm going to dissolve some of my instant espresso in here. So I'm going to get that in there. If you need some more cream, you always want to have that handy. All right. Ooh, I got a little coffee jolt. So you can see it's just going to melt, sort of dissolve. It's not going to melt. It's just going to dissolve down. If you need a little more heavy cream. I always have a little bit more in the wings, just to have. All right. And we can add all of it or some of it. I'm just having 3 tablespoons because I really love the flavor of coffee, and I just want to make sure it has some nice flavor. So the teaspoon of pure vanilla extract is going in with the coffee and the heavy cream. And then we're going to add it into, I'm keeping that little bit of extra espresso for you coffee people that really, really love coffee. So I'm just going to add this in. And then we're going to add our confectioner sugar, and that's a simple buttercream. It's basically butter, confectioner sugar, and some sort of a flavoring agent, and in this case, it's the espresso powder. All right. And if you feel like you don't have enough espresso, you can always add more. We may do that, we may not do that. Let me just shut down the machine and sort of run around the sides. All right, so I see butter and a little espresso. You're going to see a nice caramel color. We're also going to put some caramel on top. Yum. All right. I don't know if that's typical for pumpkin spice latte. It's typical for mine. I'll tell you that right now. All right. So here I have 4 cups of confectioner sugar, powdered sugar, that not sifted. If you want to whisk it, you can if there's any lumps, but you just want it about 4 cups, and we're going to make it as low as possible because when you can go to the hospital if you inhale this stuff. Death by confectioner sugar, can you imagine? All right, and we may need to thin it out with a little more heavy cream, and we will do so if we have to. It's not going to make too much, but as you get going, I will show you what it looks like in a second. Just going to slowly put our confectioner sugar in there. And again, if you want to thin it out, you don't have to use heavy cream. You can also use milk. You can use non-dairy milk. You can use whatever you want to use. It would work very nicely. This makes approximately 3 cups, maybe a little less. You can pipe it on here. You can smear it on here. You can do whatever you want to do. It's going to look really pretty against the cake. It's going to be very nice. The feng shui will be just right. I'm going to add the rest. In the recipe, I did say 1.5 tablespoons of heavy cream plus more. If you want a thinner icing, by all means, add a little more heavy cream. If you wanted a little more latte for you, and stronger coffee, add a little more. But I did put the 3 tablespoons in there. All right. It looks good. Let's see. I don't know if we need any more. You want to whip it up. I use my whip attachment because I like it fluffy. I like it fluffy. And it looks lovely and pipeable, and if you want it more spreadable, add more. All right, add more cream, that is. All right, one more whip it. You may never have to even have your morning coffee with this. This will do it for you. All right, so let's get this off of here. It looks beautiful. Did you know the color of the year for houses is like this, sort of this beige color? Whoop, there we go. Oh, yum. So it's sort of like the color of this. They're very stylish, very stylish. All right, so this is what we have. This is our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful buttercream. And I may pipe it out. Like I said, if you wanted it to be a little thinner, you could. but I think I'm going to pipe it out on top. And then I'm going to drizzle my homemade easy caramel sauce, which I will give you the link for. All right, if you don't already have it. And if you haven't watched the video, caramel is not hard to make. Don't be intimidated by it. It works. All right. Oh, yeah. That's nice. Okay, just go around. You know how sometimes the mixer has a little bit of sugar on the bottom and coffee on the sides. There it is. Go around. Oh, it's delicious. Okay. I'm going to move all this off of here. I'm going to move my cake on here. I have my caramel on the side with a little spoon. Make sure that your caramel is thin enough to drizzle. If it's not, you will have to microwave it for a little while. And that's not a problem. Oh, this is beautiful buttercream. If you wanted to double this, this would fill and frost a 9-inch cake. All right. But we just want to top this. Again, beautiful as a breakfast snack cake, a dessert, something fun to bring to the office, all right, to wake everybody up. This would be a wonderful thing to do. Don't overfill your pastry bag, Chef Gail. I always have to remind myself because I'm like, this is so good. I want to just fill it all up. All right, so you're going to push it down. I have a medium star tip, and I'm just going to go up and down. Okay, I'm just going to go up and down. Even if I don't cover the whole cake, I'm just going to go just sort of back and forth. Nothing fancy. Very, very cash. All right. That's what the kids say. It's cash. All right. No one ever finishes a word anymore. Do you ever notice that? That's okay. I like it. I like it. All right. And if we have to fill it up, we'll fill it up again. Let's see if we'll make it. We may not make it. We need to fill it up, and I got more. And then it's just supposed to be a very, very casual cake. If you want to make it a little more fancy schmancy, spread it. Spread it out with an offset. All right, so here we go. There's always more icing. All right, so we'll get that in there. I needed a bigger icing bag, right? Don't eat this after 6 p.m. or 3 p.m. or whenever is your time that you may need to go to sleep, because you won't be able to go to sleep. It is good and potent. Okay, here's that air bubble comes out. Oops, I did a little crisscross. That's okay. Let's see if we can fix it. Okay. I'm going to go up and down here. Okay, perfect. It is whatever you want it to be. It's very casual. Okay. Nice and liquidy caramel sauce. And we're just going to go up and down. See that? That says pumpkin spice latte to me, okay? It's not in a cup. It's on a cake plate. And you are so going to enjoy this. It's so easy to make. You can actually just put this together before you went to work. Make the buttercream the day before. Let it come to room temperature. Bring it in for a coworker's birthday celebration. Don't bring it to your kid's school. The teacher may not like it because all the kids are wired, but it's absolutely delicious. And there you have my gorgeous pumpkin spice latte topped with a little caramel sauce. I hope you become a subscriber, and I hope you take the time to make this cake. It's awesome. Take care. Till next time.